on. Just the backup computer here. Okay. It's working. Okay. It's all on. We'll share the screen. I'll give a little formal intro, then we can just relax into a pretty formal sort of session. Okay. This is for the guys who are going to watch it sort of cold on YouTube. So, all right. So, yeah, can you see that? Yeah. Okay. So, take that off. So this is a soul contract reading webinar. And this is all, I'm Nicolas David of the Centre for Conscious Ascension. And what we're going to do today is pretty fluid, depending on what you guys need. But this is the only formal bit here. So, have you noticed how people turn away from the biggest karmic challenges they face in their lives? How many people have noticed that? People turn away from, put your hand up if you see people turn away from all their stuff, all their lovely patterns. And no matter how hard they've tried, is they're just too painful for them to face. That was me most of my life, as they lack the spiritual map of life of how to overcome them. So this free live webinar is how you can help others identify these core patterns in their karmic positions in their soul contract and how to go about transmuting them, the important bit, so they can deliver the gift of service to the world, that special thing they've been looking for their entire life. I spent most of my 10 years looking for my gift of service, and it wasn't until I found this work that I realized this is what I'm meant to do, but it took till I was 30 to discover this work. So that's why I'm here, because I ended up in a spiritual workshop after journeying around the world for a few years, trying to find my real purpose in Phoenix, Arizona. That's where I met Frank Alper. He was the founder of this work, and he proceeded to teach us a lot of spiritual stuff, as he did for a week-long carousel workshop. But the most important thing was having a reading with him with the soul contract work. Maria, if you could go on mute. I'm getting a bit of background noise from somebody. Oh, Lindsay. She's Lindsay there. Yeah, I've muted you there. And he took my name and he put it on top of a piece of paper and he worked out all these Hebrew numbers or sounds that match my name, took those Hebrew numbers inherent within the Hebrew letters and put them in a Star of David, and he explained my entire life in an hour. And that was one of the most profound moments I've ever had. Really apart from the birth of my son, I would say that's one of the most profound moments. And then it really resonated deeply to me at a soul level. And I thought, I have to learn how to do this. So I asked him, well, do you teach this, Frank? And he said, yes, I do. And about 6 weeks later, he taught this work in a carousel level 2 workshop. So I stayed in America to learn that. Then I brought it to England and I learnt it. 4 years just practicing giving readings. I was doing a normal job at that stage and doing it on the weekends. And then I started to teach it. And 30 years on, we're still teaching it, but it's evolved into what it is today. Something much greater. And my mission became to share this work, which is why I'm here today. So I'd like to find out why you guys are here. So it gives me a bit of background, whether you've read the book or watching some videos on Gaia or someone told you about it. It gives me an idea of where we are. Then we can form the workshop or the webinar around that. So who would like to share briefly just where you are and what brought you here? What your intention for this is, because we'll set some collective intention. And Donna and Lindsay, you can just switch the sound on if you want, or just put it in the chat and I'll read it out. And then we can formulate the content of what we're going to do today around what you guys actually need. Okay. So just wave at me if you want to share that, because when I know what you want, then we can focus it accordingly. Trish.
Hi. A few months ago, I came across Almira.
Yeah.
And I did level 1 of her healing course. And then I had a soul reading.
Yep.
And I would like more clarity on that. I suppose I've only discovered you now. This is my first time
Yeah.
to be in
Okay.
touch with you.
Yeah.
So yeah, so that's about where I am. I'm about to do the light body integration, and
Yeah.
I have been involved in the healing world for many years, and I had gone away from it, and now I'm coming back.
Okay. Okay, got that. I'm just going to adjust the other machine here because it's showing a strange view. Okay, it's better. Okay, and where are you based? Trish, it sounds like is it
I'm in
Ireland?
Galway, Galway in Ireland.
Ireland. Okay, thank you. All right. Okay. Who wants to share next briefly why they're here and your intention for the webinar? So Linda,
Well, I was trying to type it all out, but it was taking too long.
just just
I'm
just
not a
talk
very,
just talk to me. Talk to
I'm not
me.
very fast. But anyway, yeah, uh, we have chatted before, I think, on one of your previous
We
seminars.
yeah, you've been before, not that long ago.
Yeah, and I was very intrigued, and I made a note to attend other seminars to learn more. So that's what I'm doing,
Yeah,
because I am a newly qualified energy healer,
yeah,
and when well, I'm driven to help and help heal others and stuff. So I'd like to know more about this modality. And yeah, I'm in England as well.
okay.
So yeah.
Mhm. You've been in England quite a while now, haven't you?
Sorry?
You've been in England quite a long time,
Yeah, 21 years.
21 years,
Yes.
yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, all right, I remember now. Thank you. Um, Anisha, thanks for joining us. If you'd like to, you're in the attendee room. If you'd like to join us in the main room, you can switch your video on. Just say yes to the little pop-up, or you can just stay in the attendee room if you want, but you can speak if you want. Okay, all right. Donna, you've unmuted. Do you want to say hi? No? No. Okay. All right. Who wants to go next on the video? Who's in the main room here?
I'll go next. I
G.
found the soul contract reading mm, many years ago. I don't remember how many years ago, maybe 3 or 4. And I immediately was intrigued by the concept because I have been working in healing for many, many years as an astrologer, as a spiritual retreat guide, and also in sound and frequency healing and things like that. So when I did my own soul contract chart and saw it, it made sense to me. I feel like I had a pretty good understanding of it, although I was curious to learn more. And at the time, and even now, like the idea of taking classes to learn to do a whole new modality didn't make sense for me in any way. But I am curious about how the readings are conducted and also just to learn more because I'm always interested in modalities. And so when I saw this, I think I'm on the mailing list for your group. So somehow it showed up in my inbox and I said, yes, I'd like to learn more.
Okay. Well, we'll do
So
that.
I'd love it if you were going to be doing a sample reading or anything like that during the session. I'd love to witness what a session looks like.
Okay. Well, do you want to be our demo then, Jeannie?
Sure. Yeah.
Okay. You've got it. You're on then. Okay. You'll find out. Okay. Pierre, do you want to share what you hear?
Yes, I did divine healing with Gabriel, and I also did the 2 steps for the light body work so far.
Yeah.
And yes, I joined a small workshop for soul contract readings, and I also bought the book.
Yeah.
So yeah, I have a small idea what it is, and I would also really like to do one myself in the near future. And I think it's a really great tool so far, what I could experience to to understand everything better. And yeah, I really I'm it's really interesting.
Okay. So who did you do the small workshop on soul contract reading with? Who is that? Just so I know.
I did it with Rebecca and Gitty.
Okay.
Um, Yes, here in the Canary Island, they did a small workshop that
Okay.
just introduced it. Yeah.
Yeah, so the girls are on it. They're starting to promote it.
Yeah.
Good. Okay. Yeah, they're both in the Canary Islands, aren't they? It's right. Okay. All right. All right. Anyone else want to share anything there? From the attendee room, Anisha, Donna, or Lindsay, do you want to share anything?
I can't see my camera, so sorry, I was
So
this is Lindsay.
Lindsay, you got to say yes to being a panelist, then you can switch, then the camera becomes available.
I'm not. Oh, okay. Join as panel.
You just
There.
go, yeah, become a panelist, so then come to the other room, then you can switch camera on. Hang on, let's find you. Okay. And just say yes to the pop-up I sent you.
Okay, thank you.
Then you'll be, you're turning up now.
Yeah,
Okay,
sorry, I had a
okay.
client, so I missed the first little 5 minutes.
Okay, we can see you now.
I learned soul plan readings so I'm a practitioner for that, but I
Sure.
love your book. I got one of your digital readings.
Reports.
I'm also a Reiki healer, Akashic Records.
Yeah.
All the things. I think it's super accurate. I love the energy healing with it too. So yeah, I just wanted to learn more about it. So there's
Okay.
always more to learn.
Okay. So you learned to be a soul plan practitioner. Is that right?
Yeah, through
Okay.
the other guy, Blue Marston. It was just
Yeah.
because it was when there was a available class that worked, because I'm in Colorado, in the United
Yeah.
States.
Yeah.
So I had to get up still at, I don't know, 3 a.m. for the class. So
Really? Yeah.
there's just not as many practitioners out in the States, I feel like, as it is more in other countries. It seems more, but I love what you're saying, how souls are kind of coming to need it more. Like it was back in the Atlantean times.
Yeah.
And it's starting to resurface because people are more ready to hear the information.
Yeah.
Because you have to be at a certain level of consciousness to understand it, which is what I got from your book, which is really cool to hear. So,
otherwise, it's gibberish. If you're not ready, it
exactly.
means it's meaningless. You're not ready to hear it. Yeah.
Right. So, but I found it dead on. It's definitely helped me. I have a 9/9 as my soul destiny. So that's why I got into Akashic Records readings and all this. So it's been helpful.
Yeah. Okay. Welcome. Yeah. So Blue Marston was one of the first teachers Almira and I trained back in about year 2001. That's a long time ago. But he's developed his version of it. It's more 16/7 for the soul contract. He tries to make it more plain English to make it accessible to more people. That's his positioning. But everyone needs something different. So every practitioner, every teacher does it a little differently. So that's where he's coming from with it. So he's reached a lot of people.
Well, I really liked your book. So it just was one. Yeah, I'm very interested in learning your style too. So
yeah. What we teach here and the version we deliver is it's a direct transmission from the lineage of Frank Capra. We kept it as pure as we could to the original transmission I got from him, except we grounded some of the language, but we didn't take anything out. We just made it more accessible. Okay, that's the difference between what we do and what happens with soul plan work. They're trying to reach the more people who are just awakening. They need plainer English because some of the work, some of the language in the pure work is very esoteric. Okay, and so Blue covers sort of guys waking up, and we cover the more esoteric end of it. That seems to be the way it's worked out. So I guess
I like your esoteric wording. I resonate more with that.
Yeah.
So.
Different people need different things. So it's just the way the divine plan worked out.
Would it be possible to put a list of the books that are associated with this work on the screen for us to see or in the chat?
So you look up I'll put it in the chat, your soul contract decoded.
I have the book I can show you.
Yeah.
If you want.
Yeah. Yeah. Your soul contract decoded is, actually, let me make it available to everybody here. Hang on.
This is the two I got, if you want.
Yeah. So your soul contract code is my book, which is the pure form. Try to maintain transmission. And Blue's book is called Soul Plan. It's where he's try to make it more plain English. Okay. So But here's other interesting insights on recommendations. Every practitioner develops it differently. But it's a more down to earth plain English version of it. And some of the stuff you see in my book is not in his because some of it's a bit out there. And he decided that he was pitching it differently. That's the way he wanted to develop it. So the other two main books. But if you people find if you combine both of them, you get a really good range of information. That's what we've learned. And a lot of people who say learn soul playing come and learn from us because they want the more. They decided, okay, I've got the basics of it. I want the more esoteric bits. Give me the rest. That's what they come for, which is probably what attracted you, Lindsay. But between the two of us, it seems to cover most of the whole range. Because it's a vast subject, obviously. This thing. Okay. Anyone else want to say hi, Nisha or Donna? Otherwise, we'll get on with it. You're in the chat.
Hi, can you guys hear me?
Donna, yeah. Do you want to come on the main screen or just you're happy to chat?
I've got work going on in the background, so I'm going to stay here if that's okay.
Yeah, whatever works for you.
I
Okay.
apologize. This is a new computer system, so it's the first time I'm going through this and it takes a little bit of setting up. But I'm happy to be here. I had my soul contract done and I'm a little later in life than a lot of you are. So looking back, it was so precise and it's just connected so many dots for me.
Yeah.
That I think it would be so helpful to people who are just kind of lost and just kind of going through life and not really having that purpose. And so this is something that I think I want to do. So trying to enroll in your class that's coming up in the next week or two.
Yes, it's starting on the 19th of September. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. And where are you?
I am in Louisiana.
Louisiana. Okay. Okay. Welcome. All right. Thank you. Anisha, do you want to share what's brought you here so you can set some intention?
Absolutely. I don't think my screen is visible, is it?
If you just say yes to being a panelist, then you can switch the video on. Okay. See that little pop-up that just came? Okay. All right. And then the video's on the bottom left. I'll just give you a little pop-up for that. Just say yes to that. Then the video will come on.
Perfect. Thank you so much.
There you go. I can see you. So what's brought you
thank
here?
It was definitely trying to understand my soul's journey a little bit more in depth. I came across Soul Contract on Gaia.
Yeah.
And I was very inspired by your work, and I just wanted to learn more about me on this journey.
Okay.
So that's what brought me here.
Okay. And where are you?
I'm actually based in Toronto.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Okay, people. Thank you. Let's get into it then. Thanks for sharing, and we'll get to the presentation and talk about a few things here. Seems a wide range of areas we need to cover today. And feel free to ask questions at any time as we go through this. So we know we have an answer to that. Okay, why are we here? So it's just some principles. Some of you are familiar with this. Some may not be so familiar who are watching it for the first time on the video. So just be aware of that. So the core question that we light workers ask ourselves, we search for from a very young age. I mean, I was asking this question, what am I here to do? I don't know, I was about 10 or 11. I was really thinking about that. And then and I discovered later that our karma contains our spiritual gift of service, which seems like a strange statement. All that hard stuff we face contains our gift of service. And it took me a while to sort of get that. But once I'd learnt this work and I got into it, I realized that's actually true. And in our soul contract, we have physical and spiritual karmic patterns. And they attract all the challenging stuff, which we'd rather not deal with. That's why it's quite tough being young, because all the karma's triggering quite heavily. And the law of attraction brings all the karmic, supposedly bad stuff. It's not really bad stuff. It's just challenges to be overcome. And we're always looking for the good stuff in life. But the law of opposites, which they don't tell you about, attracts the supposed heavy stuff, bad stuff. But actually, the learning is to turn into the karma, not run away from it, because our egos don't like pain. It's to turn into it, feel it, and engage with it, and then start to transmute it with healing. Because if we do that, then this gift of service starts to turn up. So, for example, with me, I have a physical karmic 3, which means the core karmic pattern is unworthiness to be seen and to be loved, which was very strong for me when I was young. So I couldn't stand up and talk to in a prepared speech at school. I couldn't speak to a girl on the phone when I was 10. I remember I couldn't speak up. I was very shy. But I learned that I needed to overcome that unworthiness to be loved and to transmute it layer by layer. Then what would happen is that I started to feel worthy to speak, worthy to be seen. And the whole point of that was to come into the spiritual gift of communication and teaching, in my case, to teach this work. So I got through it eventually. Well, most of it. There's always more, but I got through a lot of it ever since I learned about it. And Frank gave me my reading at the age of 30. And because I knew that, I could get on with the real mission here. So most people get stuck in their karma. They go into avoidance, and they don't move forward, as a lot of you have seen in life. And it's like, and by the time they hit middle age or whatever, they're pretty locked down or bitter or just stuck, and life's not happy. But as you've noticed, light workers, because we work more consciously with our issues, we tend to look younger as we get older because we work on our stuff. And if you know this work, you know exactly what to work on. So this work enables you to help people answer that core question. The biggest question we have is, what am I here to do? And it says, well, here it is. It's in the soul contract. And all that hard stuff you're facing, your karma, is actually contains that answer. And here's some tools to work it through. So it's like being let out of jail gradually when you come across this work. So if you're interested in becoming a soul contract reader, learning the work, which some of you are, you become the answer to that search of there's 200 million spiritual seekers on earth, light workers, all trying to figure out what am I here to do, different stages of awakening. And this work enables you to decode the secrets of the blueprint of life for spiritual seekers, hidden within the sounds of their birth name. And that energy is stored in your DNA and in your energy fields and in a substance called karmic matrix, which is like a great cobwebby substance that sits at the 4th, 5th, and 6th dimensional levels of our being. And literally it radiates out to the matrix. How many of you have seen the movie The Matrix? Hands up. Okay. Well, this is the programming creating your subjective experience in the matrix. And if you can understand what that program is, then you can change it. That means your reality changes, life gets better and more fulfilling. So in decoding someone's soul contract, that gives them the spiritual map of their life here. I was just checking the other machine was recording okay. I just repaired it last week. The spiritual map of life empowers those you work with to overcome their karma, which is the biggest reason they come to see you if you're a practitioner. They'll say, Lindsay, I'm really stuck. It's been hell. What do I do? And you can just show them how to overcome it. Okay, doesn't mean it's going to happen immediately, but at least they know what's going on. Most people are driving around life in a car, the vehicle of life, in a car with the light switched off, and no satellite navigation, and it's at night, and they keep crashing into things. Okay, the soul contract switches the lights on, switches on the spiritual sat nav, which is saying we're going to go towards the soul destiny or life purpose. So life gets a lot better, and it helps them align to their soul purpose down here and manifest it. It helps them express more of their talents, achieve more of their goals. Doesn't mean it's going to be a piece of cake, but at least you're heading in the right direction. You're spending 80% of your effort on the thing, 20% of things that matter, whereas most people are doing the other way around and not getting too far. And it creates a great deal of suffering if you don't have the spiritual map of life. So it's easing the suffering of people so they can actually move to more fulfilling things in life, like getting on with their purpose and delivering their talents. So how does it work? Where each of us chooses a name at a soul level prior to incarnation, and the sounds of that name in whatever language it is, they are decoded in this gateway here we call it the Star of David. And this then sets all these energies in our fields. And there's two primary triangles. There's the downward pointing physical triangle, because each of us is a brand new expression of the soul, a brand new personality ego expression. And so we have to learn to walk and talk, get conditioned responses, get up and running in life, because the soul sets us as potential in motion, but has no idea how we're going to turn out. So we're each a grand experiment, and we have free will choice at a personality level as how we express what our soul wants to do here. And between the ages of 35 and 42, we make the transition from the physical triangle to the spiritual triangles, where we have the spiritual awakening or midlife crisis. Or how many of you guys have had that? Or hands up, where you look at everything you've been doing, thinking, that relationship, this job, my life as it is doesn't really work anymore. I need more. There's something more important to do. And that's the spiritual triangle, which becomes more active. It's running anyway, but it becomes more predominant. So we start to search for real meaning in life. And it happens between 35 and 42, or older, but often a lot younger nowadays. So the emphasis moves to more the spiritual side of things. And so within each of these triangles, these three aspects is, in this case, physical karma, physical talents, and physical goals. And physical karma is the set of unresolved past life issues that create the physical karmic patterns. It's to do with physical stuff in the world to be overcome. That's the negative context here, talk about in the book. And the physical talents here are latent, and they activate as the karmic patterns trigger. And if it's a good match, they start to transmute them. If it's not a good match, it takes longer. And as they get stronger, that helps us move towards the physical goals. It's what gets us out of bed in the morning, what excites us. I mean, my physical goal is at 8, and I love connecting with people. That's why I love doing these webinars. So the energy flows from physical karma to physical talents to physical goals. And the spiritual karma, the spiritual karma is, how do we disconnect from God, Mother, Father, God, in a spiritual sense? How do we disconnect from divinity? And how are we going to reconnect to that divinity so that we can embody what our higher self really wants to deliver here? Okay. And the spiritual talents are latent, and they help overcome this if it's a good match. And then they help achieve our spiritual goals here. Okay. My spiritual goals are 4s, which is about sharing knowledge, which is why I love teaching. So the energy moves from spiritual karma to spiritual talents to spiritual goals here. Okay. I just have to close the window because there's children making a lot of noise outside my apartment building here. Sorry about that. I can hear myself now. Okay, so each of these 6 outer aspects can be consciously worked on once you've understood your soul contract. What happens is, over time, this is percentage complete. Most people do this. It's very slow to work through the issue. But when you're aware, and your client is aware of the soul contract, they go a lot faster because they know what to do. Because we not only explain in the work what the pattern is, we explain, we teach you recommendations how to overcome that pattern, which means you're going to work through them a lot more quickly and easy. Well, it'll be a little easier because you won't keep repeating the same old pattern. So as you work through all these 6 aspects consciously, they contribute to manifesting some of the soul destiny, which is the real reason why we're here. And this is what happens is that this will present itself in layers. You'll get an initial feel for what it is, and then once that's a step. For example, for me, I worked in the corporate world after learning this work from Frank in London. Worked in the corporate world for about 7 years, and then one day I just had this feeling. It was a summer blue sky day, 1997. I have to leave this job, and it became I was just doing this work part-time on the weekends. And then my life sort of radically shifted. I was 37. I was between I was switching from the physical to the spiritual triangle. I had to leave the job, which was very interesting up to that point. And I went traveling, and then I set up this business full time. It was running part-time. So that was my first real clarity. I need to become a practitioner full-time with this work. So that went on for about 12 years, 12, 13 years. And then in 2011, the next layer of the soul destiny came, which was it's time to write the book. My guidance team told me. So we wrote the book, got published in 2013, became a bestseller. It helped a lot of people. I was very fortunate because of this was very popular. I got into Gaia. We did 4 shows on Gaia, and it sort of grew the business so it was global. And so I was doing private sessions and I was running trainings as a full-time job, really. And now the next layer of the soul destiny has come, where I'm now stopping sessions mostly, and now I'm focusing on just training my trainers who are going to keep the work going, the next generation. So the layers sort of move out. And then we're also about to launch a soul contract report service, which I'll talk a bit more about later, which I think, Lindsay, you were talking about it, where we realized not everyone can afford to come for a live reading. So we wanted to make it more accessible. So my business partner, Robin, who's one of the practitioners, came up with the idea, and we were developing it so people can get an automated reading based upon the book at a lot less cost than a live reading. Obviously, a live reading is still the best because it's very tailored to what your client needs. So layers are building out. So I'm in a position like where I am now, where I had no idea this would happen, even 4 or 5 years ago, let alone 10 years ago. So I've gone from a glass box sitting in the city in London to running 2 global businesses, spiritual awakening businesses. So if you continue on the path, all sorts of amazing stuff happens. Yeah. So that's basically how it works, the core principle of it. So we'll show you how the numbers actually work with this. So Jeannie,
Yes.
yeah, for this, I'm going to pull up the software now. The software
Okay.
for this. I've got the software here, and I'm going to share the screen again. There's a share button on there. Okay. Okay. So thank you for stepping up for this. So you can generate. We developed some web-based software for this. It's called soulcontractreader.com. I'll put it in the chat if you guys haven't already got access to it. Yeah. And you can generate up to 4 free charts with this. Okay. Then there's a small fee after that. This is designed for people who've got the book. Okay. I don't know, we've sold 25,000 books, maybe more. I've lost count. So this is for a very quick way of generating the charts without errors. So what we do is we go new. So I'll put your current name in here, Jeannie. So I've got
You use the current name or the birth given name?
We have to give we calculate it based on the birth name, but we have to give a label to the file. So we use the current name for that. Okay. So what age did you use that name from, Jeannie? The Warren name?
I beg your pardon?
How old were you when you started using Warren? Is that the married name or maiden
No,
name?
that's my birth name. The last name is my birth name.
Okay. So is there a middle name?
Well, No, not, I don't use a middle name in my day-to-day practice, no.
No, on the birth certificate, is there a middle name?
On the birth certificate, my name is Margaret Jeanette, and Jeanette is spelt with 2 N's and 2 T's.
Is that correct there?
I think it is. Oh my gosh, now I don't remember.
Jeannie Margaret Jeanette Warren.
Well, no, on my birth certificate's Margaret Jeanette Warren.
Okay.
Jeannie is a nickname that was
So I've
given
got-
to me.
So
Yeah.
Jeanette's correct there. Okay.
Mhm.
So it will give us an ID. I won't put your birth date in because
Let
it's
me just, I want to double check my, sorry, I got to turn
You-
off my camera for a second.
you can check that. Okay.
Okay. Because I can't remember, I think my middle name, I think my Jeanette has got 2 N's and 2 T's, but now I'm second guessing myself, so.
Well, you better check it
Just-
because it's got to be accurate.
I know. And I have my soul contract. I'm gonna look for the reading, because I'm sure when I first did it, I looked at my birth certificate.
Okay.
But here we go. Let me see. So sorry, I should have been prepared for this, but I wasn't actually expecting to have a reading online.
Here it is.
Oops. That'll be faster if I actually look in my wallet at my social security card. Or my passport probably has it. Okay, drum roll, please. Oh, no, it doesn't have it. Hang on. Nope.
You're looking for the printout of your report.
I'm looking for, yeah, and see, what would it be listed under? It would be called your soul contract.
Who did you get the report? Who did you get it from?
I think I got it from this site.
You probably would have put it in under Genie or whatever.
I'm so bummed. I was trying to get on my computer.
I can
I
check
did
this.
this.
I can actually check this
Oh,
with
you
you.
can check the file probably there,
Well,
yeah?
Let me think. Can I do that?
I would have done it in probably 2022 or 2023.
Yeah, I can't access your
2021 maybe.
I can't access your files because I can just check the chart here. Okay, we'll soon find out whether it's correct or not. So we just go chart. So let's just see if this is correct. I just ask you a couple of questions. We'll soon find out.
Okay.
Are you always busy and rushing around? Not enough time trying to cram everything in.
You know what? I bet I flip-flop between that and spending lots of time in isolation and solitude.
What's that one? Is life very emotionally intense for you in your relationships with people?
In the past, yeah,
Okay.
before I got into self-healing.
And are there always challenges in your life to overcome?
Who doesn't have challenges
No,
always?
I mean big challenges.
You know what? Maybe I'm living under a certain level of denial, but I would say no. I have. I mean, in my childhood, I was, born with an intense illness and family trauma around me and things like that. But
Okay, that sounds like, are you very versatile, Jeannie?
extraordinarily
Yeah, I think this,
Versatile,
I
yes.
think this is,
Adaptable, versatile, every word that is associated with that.
and do you feel that you find it hard to ground on the earth plane when you were younger? Do you find it, you don't quite understand how this place works emotionally when you were a child?
Oh, yeah, still to this day, even though I know I've done, yeah.
Okay, this is the right chart.
Yeah.
This is definitely the right chart. Okay, all right. So here's how it works. So Jeannie's soul chose this name, the set of frequencies in English. It chose her parents. It chose, where are you in America?
Right now I'm living in Mexico, but I was in Sedona, Arizona for 35 years.
Okay, so it chose, is that where you were born or that's where you live?
I was born in Rhode Island, North Kingstown, Rhode Island.
Okay, so it chose to be born in Rhode Island to get the astrological configuration. Chose the parents, chose the name, and when this name's put on the birth certificate, the frequencies fully activate, but it's running from the time you conceived. And we use 22 ancient Hebrew sounds to match this name. Okay, some of the sounds are repeated. Okay, and then the software does it automatically, so it saves any errors. You can do it by hand in the book, but it's a lot of work. That's why we built the software. And so the major difference between this system and normal conventional numerology is that numbers are inherent within the Hebrew sounds. Like this is Mem, Aleph, Resh, Gimel, etc. They're not assigned to the English 26-letter alphabet. They're inherent within it, which is why it's completely different and also why it's so accurate, as some of you have been saying. Because these are the sounds of God, the frequencies of God. So we take these are just English numbers to match Hebrew frequencies. So what we do is we take these Hebrew frequencies and we decode them on the Star of David to work out what's this contract or soul contract about. So we start at physical karma and we allocate the first 6 numbers here, starting there, physical karma. We go 13, 1, 20, 3, 1, 20. We go one circuit around the star, around each of these aspects. Okay. And then we do it again, the next 6. 5, 9, 10. We go 5, 9, 10, 5, 1, 14, which is this lot. And we keep going till we use them all up. Okay. So basically, we're weaving in the contract into someone's energy system. And then what we do is we add up the numbers. So the total in physical talents is 59. And because we only have 22 interpretations channeled by the soul of Moses to Frank, this has no meaning 59. So we have to reduce it. We go 5 plus 9 equals 14. So we reduce the first number below 22. So we get a 14. So that becomes the left-hand number. The right-hand number is a reduction of the left-hand number. So we go 1 plus 4 equals 5. So that becomes the left-hand number. So we have the energies of a pure 14, pure 5. So this is Nun and so where are we? Nun, 5, and Hey, okay, in Hebrew. So you're here to experience in physical talents the pure frequencies of Nun and pure frequencies of Hey, with every blend in between, depending on the day. Like having hot and cold taps in the shower. It'd be hot, cold, or somewhere warm in the middle. Okay. In the case of spiritual karma, total is 35, greater than 22, so 3 plus 5 equals 8. We can't reduce 8 anymore, so 8 plus nothing is another 8, so we get an 8, 8, so we get one frequency of an 8 here. So it's not the same range of movement. So this is called a double number. This is called a combination number. It's a combination of 2 numbers. This is a double number, which is one frequency. So some parts of Jenny's charts are very specific frequencies where there's no room to maneuver other than stay in that frequency. In other parts here, there's a wider range of movement. Okay. So what we then do is we figure out, well, what's the soul destiny? So we take the physical numbers, the 6, 6, 14, 5, 21, 3, pop it on this table here. The 8, 8, 22, 4, and 4, 4. Pop it on this table here. And we add up the two columns. And that produces a 75 and a 30. So 7 plus 5 is 12 because it has to be less than 22. Okay. 3 plus 0 is 3. So we get a 12, 3, which is the soul destiny that we pop in the middle. So it's a summation of all the numbers. Okay. And all these little channel symbols, Frank brought these through. These are basically gateways, portals into Jenny's energy, which will maybe need to give a short reading of her chart. Okay, everyone okay with that?
Yeah.
All right. So, Jenny, what's the main question you have about your life? I'm going to give you a little bit about each aspect, a little taster of it.
Okay. I want to know, how will I know when I'm fully activated in my path?
Okay. How old are you now? I need to know how old you are to be on the
I
cycle
am
of life.
60. I'll be 64 in a couple of months
Okay, so
in February.
So you're on the 8th cycle of 7 years. 8th cycle. So you've been at this for a while. Okay, and how long have you been on the spiritual path? How long have you been? When did you awaken? How old were you then?
I think I was probably, well, I've always been awake since I was like 6. And
Okay,
then, of course, I did go into conditioning behavior in my 20s. But I also then started working. Well, I was already meditating. I was really blessed to have a mother who was a spiritual seeker, and so I was um, um, basically apprenticed by lots of spiritual teachers throughout my life. So yeah,
okay. All
it's
right,
been
so,
ever present. It's like the hardest part is like there's a part of me that is a total renunciate, and I'm like, yeah, I get it. I'm done, but I'm not really done because obviously things show up in my life that are tumultuous, and I think, oh, I have to help these people. I have a commitment. I used to have an overzealous need to help people and serve. Now my service is more like balanced, and it doesn't really matter where I go or what I do because it's always ministry or service of some kind. So it's like, okay, what's next? And oh, that's happening. And what's next? Okay, that's happening. But it also feels a little bit under, like I don't have goals. I still have that renunciate mindset where it's like whatever. But it's not really whatever because I don't always get true satisfaction out of my daily experiences.
okay. All right. Okay, so we want to see how far you got on the path. So the 6 here is about learning to unblock your creativity and get focused to manifest what's really
Yeah.
resonant with you. How's that going?
You know, it's kind of fascinating because it's so automatic. Like, I mean, we're always creating, right? But sometimes I'm very conscious and I go, oh, I want to create, blah, 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 whatever. And then it happens. I mean, I've had amazing, miraculous manifestations all throughout my life. And and then in between, I go into periods of fallow where I have nothing and I don't really care. And I'm just so busy doing service to others and doing the whatever work I'm doing. And then I go back into like, you know what? I'd like to do something different now. And so it's just this constant, you know, evolution. Although I think lately my awareness has been that I really would like to be more involved on a daily basis in a practical way, and creativity. Like I started a garden club last year. I started going to a garden club last year here in Mexico. And so I've learned a lot about caring for gardens. And I really love that. It's really something I've enjoyed. And so I realized that it's that practical hands-on with something physical that is, I've kind of abdicated that most of my life in service to other people's healing because I came into a family with a lot of trauma, huge, huge trauma. And so I just felt like I empath everybody's pain. So in order for me to feel safe in the world, the people around me need to feel safe. So I've been working so hard to make everybody else feel safe that I've abdicated my own joy, literally.
Yeah, well, this is about looking after you, looking after the body, the 8. It's about grounding on earth, having clear boundaries. And the 4 here is the oversharing of the flow of you.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And the 8's about That's why gardening's good for you, because it gets you into the earth.
Yeah.
Okay, that's what's happening there.
And I actually had a big graduation, I think, this year on boundaries. Like I've definitely had a couple of experiences of, boundary opportunities for me to have hurt feelings over boundaries. And then I noticed that my behavior was very different this time. It's like, oh, okay, I think I finally got that one where I'm able to draw a line and not take in whatever the thing is.
Yeah. Yeah, so good. That means that's working. This is like a little amoeba. You formed your boundary. Okay, and this is you inside, and don't get over involved in everyone else's stuff
Yeah.
over here because you'll get drained.
Yeah.
And the 4
Yeah.
here was all about oversharing. This is the flow of nature coming to you. This is giving away too much to people and getting exhausted. And it's about keeping some of the flow for yourself. Looking after you. Be a little selfish and look after yourself first. Then you'll have more in the tank for others later. Okay. So the physical talents here is 14.5. This is about having intense relationships to learn about who you are. Okay.
Yeah,
So
that's for sure.
Yeah, because other people will mirror to you parts of yourself you hadn't seen, and vice versa. And the 5 is about learning to speak the truth. Be completely true to yourself, which might have got you in a lot of trouble as a kid.
Yeah.
And being a pioneer, okay, looking for the good stuff, looking for the cutting edge stuff, sharing truth. That's probably why you got drawn to this work, because this is about pure truth here. Okay. And the physical is 21. The 21 is the divine mother. And this is about creating big challenges to overcome, to get this energy moving inside you. All right. So to learn to overcome big challenges and then learn to do it the easy way eventually. You need a big challenge, otherwise you get bored. Okay.
Yeah.
You
You
don't want the small stuff. You need, give me a big one. Give me a big boulder to break.
Yeah. And just as a side note, in 2012, I literally had a direct experience with the Divine Mother where she began working with me and through me. So I had never had the relationship to or any kind of religious connection to Mother Mary, but literally she showed up in my world in so many ways. She showed up in pictures as a big auric field in my photos. So that really shifted a lot for me during that year.
Yeah, good. That means you've already got into that quality. And the 3 here is about learning to be worthy to be loved. You got one here and you got one here. There's a if you have a lot of trauma in the family, that can lead to a lot of feeling of being unworthy to be loved. Okay, and 3 is this internal canal. There's this big plug of unworthiness in the internal canal, and your job's to clean it all out. So eventually you can access the deep soul wisdom in the canal, this big library of knowledge, and bring it out to be a teacher. It's in your soul destiny here. It's in the physical goals. The main point of this life is to teach the deep soul wisdom, the stuff that you're passionate about in the world. So what are you passionate about the most, Jeannie?
Soul evolution.
Okay, well, there you go.
And I've been actually since 2006, I've been a full-time professional astrologer, and I do soul-centered astrology, and I consider my work to be sacred. And I don't advertise. I do a lot of pro bono work, but it's basically like if a soul is called to work with me, then I know they're mine to work with. So I kind of have a sliding scale thing, which is what gets me into trouble sometimes because I don't always get compensated appropriately. But I don't, to me, it's like turning lights on in people, helping them see their value, is really important.
Yeah. So this is about being worthy to be loved. So as you feel worthy to be loved, you'll probably change your sliding scale so they pay you a bit more. Okay. That's important as well, because the more they pay, the more they get in the energy exchange.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So you're here ready to absorb and expand spiritual knowledge, which is why you're wanting to learn about this work. And anything else that's cutting edge, you're here to absorb and expand knowledge, take it to a higher form, and then teach it. That's the mission. That's the mission. Okay.
Yeah.
So, and the 12 is sort of tempting you. Shall I learn this or not? For example, because it's another body of knowledge. Okay, that's why you've got this sort of tickle. Oh, maybe I should, maybe I shouldn't. That's the way this works. But yeah, that's the ultimate point of this, is to be a spiritual teacher in a grounded way, mirroring to people who they are. Okay, in the 22.4, in spiritual talents, there's this direct connection to source, blending mind, body, and soul, and sharing exactly what people need in perfection, customizing what they need. So
Yeah.
let me just turn my phone down. Sorry, guys. Thought it was down. Let me just a sec. So yeah, you're here to be whatever people need from you to share what they need so they can grow. This is your superpower, especially in working with people.
Yeah, and I do see that. And actually it feels like more like channeling, because it depends on who's in front of me, what comes out of me. And so I've learned to trust that and just whatever level they're at, wherever they're at.
Yeah. Well, this is pure channeling the source, accessing all the multidimensional experience of the soul.
Yeah.
Okay. That's your core strength there in sharing it. So literally you're speaking the word of source, of God, in the way people need. That's what that's about. Okay. So overall, it's all about being a grounded teacher of pioneering knowledge from source. Okay, in a very focused way, and just sharing, but not oversharing. So if you're getting exhausted, it means you're sharing too much and not charging enough. That's what it means. That's part of the journey for you as well. So if you feel you're making good progress on the teaching front, that means you're on the mark.
Yeah.
Okay. So it sounds like you're doing quite well, if you ask me.
I know. It's just the one thing that I do get in trouble with is that insatiable like interest in everything. So, people often, because they know that I know about a lot of different types of healing technologies and things like that, I get people bringing me new technologies or new ways, new things, like you've brought me something new today. And then I go in, I want to learn about all of them. And I'm thinking like how that keeps me stuck in the mental plane and out of that whole spiritual plane. So that's been a little bit of a challenge. And like one of the things that I actually do for myself, but I also do it with other people too, is sound healing, vibrational healing, and things like that. So I'm hoping that that's enough of a balance.
Yeah, well, the 6 is going to bring you lots of other creative ideas that are all going to seem equally appealing. Okay.
Right.
So the thing is, you got to feel in your heart, out of all the current choices you have, what opens your heart the most, and that's called following the spiritual signature. The soul's trying to tell you which one it is. And so follow the ones that open your heart the most, then it'll be fine. Don't try and do them all though, otherwise you're going to kill yourself.
I know, right?
You're going to overdo it. 12.3s tend to do too much, as I said at the beginning of the reading.
Yeah.
Okay.
I know. And I think that's part of the soul worthiness learning too, because the thing is that, like, I noticed in the last few years, a lot of new technologies and new things are coming online and people are waking up to them and there's an interest for them. So I've been called to speak on different topics of healing and different things, and I'm good at it. I'm like, okay, I understand this. I can make it simplified for other people to understand it and invite them in to explore it. And then what I found is I wasn't doing as much of the astrology and then when I started doing readings again, people started calling me again for readings. I started to notice, like, when I'm doing astrology readings, I'm completely in love with that person. I'm completely turned over to spirit. And it's such a beautiful thing. And so, but I'm noticing that the part of me that felt unworthy, when people invite me to come and speak, it sort of feeds that fear that I'm not enough. And, oh, I'm being recognized, so I need to go and do that. And so, again, I'm learning to just like find a balance between knowing that I'm worthy without having to be out in the public specter and be seen in that way and not answer that call every time.
Yeah, 12 is about balance. That's the whole lifetime. Okay. So does that help?
Very much. Yeah. And I didn't mean to want to talk about myself too much, but I think it's helpful for other people who are learning to study this to hear from somebody who's older and has had these experiences. But yeah, early life was very difficult, very challenging. everything was a drama, drama, drama. Every relationship has been extremely, like, I don't get involved in a lot of relationships, like intimate relationships, but I fall in love with every one of my best friends. And so it becomes very intense. But every relationship that was an intimate relationship has been incredibly tumultuous and difficult. And I finally started to learn to love just unconditionally and let people go. And I don't have to engage with that intensity every time. So it's
Yeah.
been a good lifelong lesson.
Yeah. Good.
Yeah.
Thanks for
Thank
sharing.
you for that. Thank you
This-
for choosing me.
yeah, that really helps people understand it some more. Any questions, anybody on that little demo that have come up? Or other questions you may have that might have been percolating there?
Do you look at the dominant vibration too or
If she had one, but she doesn't have one.
okay.
So the dominant vibrations, we have four more of the same number. If we had another four in here, say up there, we have a four as a dominant vibration. And that's like the theme. And we read a channeling from God that came through Frank, which reminds you why you came. But Jeannie doesn't have one, so we don't have to worry about it. But you normally read it at the very end, Lindsay.
Okay, thank you.
If that's the case. Trish.
Hi, thanks. Yeah, so on that note, I've got lots of double numbers, but I've got 6 9s, 3 double nines in mine. I would like to understand that.
Yeah. The nine, the dragon energy, is about great power. Where are the nines?
Where are they? Sorry.
Yeah, which aspects are they in?
1 in the physical goals. Well, look, 2 9s in the physical goals, 2 in the physical talents, and in the soul destiny.
Okay. So it means that the life is orientated around learning to come with a great power, learning to overcome great disempowerment as a child,
Yes.
learning to trust yourself, trust your first inner gut instinct, and progressively going from a place of being disempowered to being empowered. That's the journey. And having to probably overcome a lot of trauma in the process. Does that sound about right?
Absolutely.
Yeah. And then to use that power to catalyze change in the world, Trish. So do you watch, have you seen Harry Potter?
No.
Okay, well in Harry Potter they have these big black powerful dragons. And so you're like learning to be a dragon unleashing itself, being pinned down and disempowered, to learn to fly with that power and to go out in the world and create change. You're a change maker, Trish. That's the point of it. And your journey of moving from disempowerment to empowerment is here to take that power to catalyze people to awaken.
I would love to know how to do that. Sounds simple.
Well, not as simple as that, but
I'm joking.
yeah, but you basically need to do a lot of whatever's left. You need a lot of trauma therapy on it, and basically you'll work it through. Okay, it takes time. All right, Anisha.
Right. You did mention about the 21 threes, 21
Yes,
and 3.
21
And
3
I
hours.
have, yeah, and I have like 3 aspects that have 21 and 3, which
Ooh,
is, yeah,
where
which is
are they?
the spiritual goals.
Yeah,
I have it in physical karma,
yeah.
and I have it in physical talents.
How's life been?
Very exciting in the least. Definitely a ton of challenges. So
Yeah,
I thought that
and
was very interesting. I also see those synchronicities every time. I see 1 2 3s, 1 2 3s all the time in my
yeah,
reality.
yeah.
So
I
I
think
find that very exciting.
there's a reason for that to remind you of what this is about. Yeah, yeah,
Also, I'm feeling there's a lot of like transformation happening right now in my life.
yeah,
A full flip of my career aspect of it, like from the logical, analytical job to a completely creative side.
yeah.
So it's really overwhelmingly changing things around me. So I thought that was connected to the 1 2 3s. That's why I asked.
How old are you now?
I feel so because I'm changing my, like, it's a midlife crisis, like you mentioned.
Yes, I was going to
So
say.
I'm
So
just,
you're transitioning. So you move from the left brain analytical thinking of the world to the more spiritual feminine right brain, and
yeah,
because you got to sort of surrender to it. Because the only way to navigate that is to surrender to the divine feminine and the spirit, following the flow of spirit what feels right to do next, because you won't be able to figure out the journey. You have to feel it out. And that'll guide you. Okay.
Okay. Is there any connection with my spiritual and my physical aspects? Because they all have the 1, 2, 3, like I mentioned.
Well, it's just basically saying you've got 3 out of 7 aspects. You need to become very strong. It's part of your training to get on with the spiritual mission. So you get to a point where 21 where you've had enough of doing the hard stuff and you think, I want to do it the easy way. Okay, because you got strong enough on the inside. So it sounds like you might be at that point.
Yeah, it's an interesting time in my life right now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Thank you. Belinda.
Thank you.
Yeah, I have 6 sixes. So
6
my
sixes.
dominant,
Okay,
yeah.
so where are they? Just so I know.
Spiritual goals, physical talents, and spiritual talents.
Okay. How focused are you? Or how unfocused are you? How scattered are you on a bad day?
On a day like today, I've had no energy, and but on other days I can be pretty focused. But today it's just been I feel like I've I've had no sleep, but I had a good night's sleep, kind of thing.
Okay.
But yeah, does that mean that I'm unfocused with all these sixes?
And it could just be the energy happening on the earth. We'd have to look at the rest of your chart. But the main thing is to stay focused and move out of being stuck, which is what this can do. You got 2 of them in talent, so you should be okay. But it's just ask yourself, am I focused on my main thing at the moment? Put little post-its around the house. And you'll probably notice that initially you're not. But if you stay focused on the one thing and complete it, it'll unblock the energy and you'll get less stuck. Okay.
I'm interested in a lot of things, but as far as projects are concerned at the moment, I've got 2 major projects, one for rainy days and one for not rainy days.
Yeah.
So one for outdoors and one for indoors.
Yeah.
So yeah.
So stay with 2 of them then. Don't do any more. Don't be tempted by the creativity to go off and start something else. Okay. And then you should be okay. But ask yourself for those little post-its, am I my primary purpose either inside or outside? You probably find sometimes you're not, and that's what drains the energy because you get into too much stuff. If you get scattered sometimes, especially when you're tired.
And I enjoy doing the healing work. And is that kind of like distracting my energy?
Well, it depends if it's your main focus, you see.
Okay, well, I really enjoy it. I've got so many interests.
I know, but you got to get down to the key ones because they all seem equally important because of the sixes. Okay.
Yeah,
So
they all are important. Come on.
No. What you do is you feel in your heart each one, the one which opens your heart the most has the highest priority. Then you look at the next one down, and then you're going to see which ones are important. Because the lesson of it is the sixes to learn to focus on a couple of important things.
Okay.
Okay. Even though they seem all equally important, but they're not actually. Just the way it's an illusion. Okay.
Okay.
All right.
All right. Thank you.
You guys got some extreme numbers, all 3 the same one. Pia, what have you got for me?
Yeah, I also have 3 double sixes.
Oh, another one. Okay, where are they?
This was my question also because I have it in Soul Destiny, Spiritual Karma, and Spiritual Talents. And is it like, because now you said like with the focus, does it always apply to double sixes, or is it always also important to where they're placed?
It's the nature of the sixes to learn to focus your creativity. You're gonna have too many things on, get easily distracted. Okay. So it's about learning to focus on the one that opens your heart the most. This is where you are. You want to go over here and working small, manageable steps to success to get to the goal. Because the 6 won't take a great leap forward unless it's guaranteed success. So focus on the goal one step at a time. When you complete that, you'll be less scattered because you would have connected to the soul's creativity here. you're able to connect it to it more. So the more focused you are, the better it is. What you can do is draw the symbol. Okay, you and Belinda can draw the symbol, the 6 symbol, put it on a post-it, and put it in your pocket against your body, and you'll notice you'll be more focused in the day because it's going to transmit to you. Okay? Where's she gone? Yeah. All right. So you can use the numbers like don't tattoo it, whatever you do, because you can't take it off. It'll fry you. People go and think like they never tattoo one of these on you. It's fatal. It'll really send you to a deep process. But that's how you work on your numbers. Like you could do it, Jeannie, to ground yourself. Put an 8 symbol, put it in your pocket, facing into the body. Okay. And if you're teaching or communicating, put a 3 on you. You see?
Thank you.
Okay. All right. Other questions? Belinda, another one?
As far as this course is concerned,
Yeah.
Firstly, how much is it? How long does it last? How much time does it take?
All right. We'll get into that. Okay, let's talk about that. I'll get to you, Anisha, in a little while. Just got to answer this question here. So let's talk about what the course does. Okay. So as a therapist or healer or workshop facilitator, what it will give you with your clients or your students is an immediate and profound understanding of their issues just by looking at their chart. You'll know more about them than their mother does. Okay, immediately. And this spiritual map of life will accurately guide you in your work through with them. Because when they start presenting different symptoms, emotional symptoms, you'll know what's creating it, therefore you can address it at its root. And because it's so accurate, it builds an enormous trust with people immediately, and you get better and faster results with your clients. Okay, so you're not sort of guessing anymore. You know exactly what's going on as a healer or a facilitator. Okay, so now the way it works is that you will learn a structure will help you understand yourself and everyone else in your life, and you learn how to give these readings based on people's names. We transmit to you the energies of the 22 letters of Hebrew, and it'll open up your intuitive channel. Because it's not just you, we connect you to your guidance team, your subconscious guidance team, and they're telling you, they're helping you. We teach you how to work with them. So they're delivering the reading. So, because the client's higher self and your higher self are talking to each other at a higher level. This is you as a practitioner talking to your client over here. It's higher self talking to your higher self, and you've got your whole team here, and you're telling them, channeling through you, what they need to hear in that moment for this next step in their growth. So it's like a cosmic, very, very important conversation at a critical time in their life. People come for 2 reasons. They come for readings because they have a karmic pattern that's stuck and they need help, and or they want to know much more about their path, their soul destiny. What am I here to really do, and how do I get there? Okay. They're the main reasons people come for readings. And so a little more how the course works. So how many of you read the book? Put your hands up. Okay, so this is not more of the book. Okay, the book is based on the manual for the level 1 training. It's a subset of it. Some things we can't say in the public domain. So this is not more about learning. It's not going to feed your left brain. This is about moving to the right brain, and you sit in the field of the training for 5 days and you become the work. We'll activate you so you become it. We activate your DNA and your energy fields and remembrance in you and clear the blockages to bringing this work through you. So we spend the first 3 days where we use everyone in the class. We pick examples of the 22 numbers in each person's chart. So we cover all the numbers, well, mostly. Sometimes we get them all done, and we will talk about the numbers. And when it comes to be your turn to be a case study, you'll talk directly about the subjective experience of the numbers. And so you're going to emotionally feel that transmission from your classmates, and you'll never forget, because they talked about how did it feel. So you then become it after 3 days. because this is a bodily transmission. So this is experiential learning. It's very powerful. And then you have a day off to integrate that. And then we teach you in the last 2 days how to hold space and to channel through, because you become the work. You'd be amazed at how good you are. And then you channel through. We teach you how to hold the emotional space and take someone through their reading. And you do 2 practices on the 4th and 5th day. And it's pretty profound. You learn a lot about yourself as well. And you'll find out how good you are doing it because you become it. But it's taken us 30 odd years to understand how the training should work. Okay. So, and you leave the training being able to give reasonable readings with a bit of practice. Okay. So yeah, it's becoming the work rather than learning more about it. Okay. By just sitting in the field with us. We have 3 teachers, me, Antigone, and Almarinda. They're the other main teachers. And you have a whole assistant team that's holding space for you as well. We're usually all training teachers. And so we have ongoing professional support. We have a community on Facebook of peer-to-peer practitioner support. We have it's included. We have a pay for support program, and we also teach you if you want to learn how to become a spiritual entrepreneur with marketing, manifesting, and business, how to take that skill, integrate it into your business, how do you actually take it out in the world and get it so it becomes a viable part of your business. So what do people get, Belinda? Are they going to get a feeling of deep peace because they're hearing the truth of their lives explained for the first time? A lot of relief that actually this explains why all this stuff's been happening. And most importantly, it empowers people who may feel like victims of life to take charge from wherever they are and move forward. A lot of people get stuck, and this work can unstick them. Okay. So we teach you how to show where they are on their spiritual map of life. And we teach you about the recommendations, how to laser target key recommendations so they can overcome what's in their face at the moment in terms of their challenges, how to manifest their dreams. A lot of people give it up because they get stuck in their karma. We teach you how to align them to their life purpose, soul purpose. And it touches people very deeply with this work because they hear the truth and the ego defense just dissolve. And it helps you move to a deeper level of yourself and connection with others as well and have compassion for people. So, summary, be preparing giving readings in the group so you can deliver good ones shortly afterwards. But you got to practice. Okay, you practice with family and friends first. Okay. And the next one runs in spring and autumn. The autumn one is 19th to 21st and 23rd, 24th of September. A few weeks' time. It runs for 8 hours, 4 1.5 hour sessions with 20-minute breaks and a 1 hour meal break. 12:30 to 8:30 p.m. UK, 7:30 a.m. start in Eastern Time, 4:30 a.m. in California. The latest I can teach is up to 8:30, having tested it, but people used to fly to England for this. And in Europe, it's 1:30 p.m. start. Whoops. So total cost is £718, about 900 US, depending on the exchange rate. The deposit to reserve your place is $277 or £300 or 350 US dollars. We have PayPal Pay Later, so you can pay in 3 or 4, depending on where you are, okay, to help you out there. And you can find out more about on soulcontractreadingtraining.com. Okay, on that. And if you are in Asia, those of you in Asia, like Middle East, Asia, Australia, New Zealand, we run one once a year. The next one's in either April or June 2026, depending on what happens with another training I'm running. And in this one here, we start at say in Australia, Eastern Australia, it's 3 to 11 p.m. Okay, in New Zealand, it's 5 p.m. to 1 a.m. In like Hong Kong, Malaysia, it's not 1 p.m. start. Japan's a 2 p.m. start. India's a 10:30 a.m. start. Middle East, it's a 9 a.m. start. And in England, it's a 6 a.m. start. If you like getting up early, we discover people like getting up early, so they come to this one. Okay, but the final date won't be set till probably end of the year when I know what's going on with another training. Does it help, Belinda? Give you enough structure for how it works? Yep.
Yes, thanks. You say you offer them twice a year, and those are the dates. That's
Yep.
it.
Well, this one is run in September. There'll be another one in, let me just tell you the other one. The spring one, I'll find you the provisional dates. Okay. I need to look up a calendar here. Yeah, look up a calendar. I think it's February we're running the next one. The Western Hemisphere one. Provisionally, this hasn't been finalized. The next spring one is 11th to the 13th of February and 15th to 16th of February next year, but that might change. Okay, but it'll run sometime in February, March. That's the one after. That's the next Western Hemisphere one. Okay, so
Okay.
all right.
Mm. There was another question which just escapes me right now, but
We'll come back to that. Okay.
okay, yeah.
Anisha, you got a question?
Yes, I did. I actually wanted to know if you could help me out to understand what my soul destiny is. I have a 10-11.
It'll be a 10. It'll be a 10-1.
Yeah.
Should be a 10-1, but that sounds a bit strange. It sounds like the math hasn't worked properly there. Okay, because it should either be 10-10, come out as 10-10 or 10-1.
So what I've written here is what the chart gave me, which was the 10 and 11 is what I had written here, which
Did you
seems to be
do
the same as my spiritual karma as well.
did you do it by hand or did you do it on the software?
I did it on the software.
You shouldn't have a 10 dash, if you got a 10-11, it should be a 10-1.
Okay.
So what does it say on the what does it say on the chart there in the middle of the star? If you use the software.
I think I got this down a while back. I just wrote down. So it's showing me the unity power symbol and also the potential manifestation. These are the two symbols that I have.
That's a 10-1, a 10-1.
Okay.
Okay, that's
So
the one
it's
to,
a 10-1.
it's a 10-1. That's one to look up on the book. Okay. All right. Okay. Pia. Have to unmute.
Sorry. I wanted to know if you, in this course, you also learn like the symbols which you just gave us for 6, for example, or for the 8, or is this more part of the divine healing? And also, if
let me answer one question at a time. This is completely separate from divine healing. Okay, don't mix the two up. Two different technologies. We teach all about the symbols in the level 1 training. We explain how they work and go right into them. So yeah, so you get a transmission of them. Okay.
And do you also go deeper into, for example, name giving for children, for example, or is this more in the advanced, or is it another topic?
It's level 2. Level 2 is where we talk about level 1's focusing on giving a good birth reading, which is more than enough for 5 days. Level 2 is where we teach about the effect of different names you have over time, effect of relationships, how other people's birth names and current names affect you, how to optimize names to burn through all your karmic and goal aspects, how to name babies, basically how all the different relationships we have affect us. It's like having different layers of icing on the cake of our life, our birth chart. So that's level 2, but you've got to master level 1 first to be able to grasp level 2. And we run one of those a year, which is in usually about June or July. We run that once a year. Okay. So I'd focus on learning the level 1 first. That's more than enough to get your head around. And then you've got to do lots of practice. So you've got to do enough readings, minimum 5, so that you know what the numbers are without having to look up the manual. You become them. in practice, because we going to assume you know your numbers before you do level 2, because we're talking about the next quantum leap in terms of all the interaction between the numbers, which is another complete leap in complexity. But people want to know, once you're doing someone a birth reading, they're going to say, okay, Pierre, talk to me about my husband and my kids and my secret lover and all the other things. That's the question people ask. So we teach you how to answer that with level 2. Okay.
Is it possible to get a reading just for name optimization? Do you offer that?
You have to have a birth name. You have to have a birth and overlay reading, okay, first, because we need to understand that there's usually 2 or 3 key themes
Are
in all
those 2 different readings or are they the same?
that are combined.
Oh, okay.
It's birth plus overlay reading. So we look at your birth name and the key people in your life, like partners, parents, kids, who's been significant for you, because we need to see the flow of energy through time, which is what level 2 teaches you, because there'll be 2 or 3 key themes there, which are going to feed into your optimal name. Then the name optimization is a separate session after that, because once you learn what those themes are, you've got to go and meditate on and listen to higher consciousness. It's going to tell you what names to use for that name. And then we take the names you generate, and then we go off and work it out. I mean, one of my team will do that for you. Okay. But that means you can get the life you really want, because everyone has their optimal name hidden in them until they're ready to discover it. And their life can radically change. My life radically changed.
I know, I feel that one is emerging. It's weird because I used to have a lot of judgment about people that changed their name. And then I started thinking about, it's like come up for me in the last 10 years many times that, the name that I have was, my mother tells a very dramatic story about when I was born, that she didn't have a name for me, and that the nurses came every day and asked her, what is the name of this baby? You have to name this baby. And she said, finally, under pressure, she just grabbed the name of both of my grandmothers and put it in there. And that was it. That was my name. And then they never called me that name. They always called me Jeannie, which was just a nickname. But I never felt like I owned my name.
Well, then that means you probably need this, because it's not quite right.
I know that's why I was just like, my ears just went, bing! Oh my gosh, I could get help picking my soul name.
You can.
So,
yeah. Okay, Trish.
Hi, just a quick question. After this level 1 training, would one have enough information to go and do readings for people?
That's the whole point. You can
After
leave from this training with a bit of practice on your fellow classmates and with friends and family. You can then go off and use this for real and help people.
Okay.
Yeah, that's the whole point of it. So you can go and wake up people. Any other questions? Belinda, if you remembered your question?
Yeah, I have. And another one came up as well.
Okay, let's start with the first one.
Okay. Do we have, if we do the course, do we have lifetime access then to the software where we can download, or how does that work? Do we have to buy the software? Does it, or
the software basically, let me show you how that works here. Is it gone? The wrong one. Let me just stop sharing. I can find the right window here. I'm on the wrong one.
it's good to see I'm not the only one with so many windows open.
Yeah, let me find the software. Okay. Here it is. So, all right. So here's how the software works. So, took a long time to build this, so and look out, run it. So we have to cover the cost of development and running it. So there's 3 packages. You get 4 free charts, okay, when you first use it. Then after that is a pay-as-you-go service where you get 8 charts for £6.10, 22 for £30.30, 76 for £33.10. Okay, so it's pay-as-you-go, and they last you can keep them there for years if you want to use them all up. So that's what most people start on. Once you start doing more readings, especially doing overlay readings, you need a lot more charts. So then we have a pay monthly scheme. We're at 76 charts for £22.30. And you use what you can of that, but then it resets to 76 at the end of each month. And then for practitioners who are really doing a lot of name optimization, a lot of readings, there's an unlimited package for £30.40. You can use as many as you like. That's what a lot of the guys do once they really get into it. So it's very low cost. We just made it accessible because you're going to charge £100 for a reading, so this is nothing really. So, and the beauty of the software is it's accurate. If you try and do it by hand, you make one mistake, you actually end up giving a completely incorrect reading to somebody, which is not a good idea. Okay, so that's where the software comes in. Okay, so it's
Thank you for that.
subcontractreader.com.
Okay.
How-
And for now, though, we can just access the 4 free ones, yeah?
You just go on it, you register, create an account, you get 4 free ones.
Okay.
Okay.
And then how many levels are there? Because you mentioned level 1 and then you mentioned level 2.
There's level 3, which is for business. It's where we teach you how to optimize the name, legal, trading, website names, product names to maximize attraction of the right niche of customers to your business and for the business of your clients. Okay. It's for more spiritual businesses, but it works for 3D businesses as well. And how to speak in more 3D language with the word for business people. We take out the esoteric component, so it's more accessible to people who may be just waking up or they're in the corporate world. We have quite a lot of corporate consultants use this work in their work with 3D corporate. We're open to it a little bit.
And is that also a 5-day course?
That's a 4-day. That's a 4-day course, and level 2 is a 4-day course.
Okay, so it's just level 1 that's a 5-day course, yeah?
Yeah. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay, Jeannie, you had a question.
I had a question. Yeah. How many certified practitioners do you have in the United States doing this at this time?
There's about 500 practitioners globally. I don't know, 20 or 30 at the most, I'd say. In America, maybe more. But
Mhm.
in terms of the number of trained, it might be 70 or 80. The number of active ones won't be as high as that. So it's a very young market. So it's not saturated at all. So, but this work is spread through spiritual networks. So even if there were hundreds, each person has their own network, which
I completely understand that. There's millions of astrologers, and I still find plenty of people that come to me for
yeah. Well,
readings.
there's a few dozen in America. So it's a
Yeah.
big oyster. It's all yours.
It seems really it looks like it can be really fast to get right to the nuts and bolts right away. And
Well, you can get straight to it immediately with the
Yeah.
stuff, with what's going on. It's no there's no messing around with this thing. It's very fast. Okay, very, very fast. Okay.
Thank you.
And sorry, another question. How do the payment plans work?
On the website, we use PayPal, but you just select to pay by PayPal, then it has a thing called PayPal Pay Later at the bottom, which would in the UK it allows you to pay, provided you pass the credit check, you can pay in 3 payments. It'll split it evenly. So you pay one payment immediately, then 2 other payments in 1 month gaps. That's what's available.
And when is the D-Day to sign up for that?
You want to sign up at least 24, 48 hours beforehand, so you've got time to print off all of the material. There's a lot of material. There's 2 manuals. There's resource manual, and there's symbols and presentation packs. You've got to have time to organize all your paperwork.
How many pages do you think that is total?
300 or 400 pages.
Wow.
It's a lot of material. So you can't have it electronically because you got to use multiple ones at the same time. It doesn't work to look at it electronically. You'll go mad with it. It needs to be bound properly and organized. Okay.
So there's a lot of kind of like left brain work going on there as well. It's not right brain stuff until you get more into it, yeah?
Well, it's mainly right brain, but you need to have your material structured. But the work is about flowing. It's flowing with a spiritual signature in terms what opens your heart the most in terms of preparing and delivering readings. It's much more right brain feminine, this process.
Okay.
Okay. The book is very left brain to some degree, simply because there's only so much you can put in a book. But the training is more right brained. We need you to sit back in the feminine and receive the work and become it. Okay. It's a completely different process to what the book is. I'm not going to sit there and read the book to you. Each of you is going to share what your experience with specific numbers are, because we'll pick enough numbers so that covers all the numbers, hopefully. You're going to share that, and that's the training, and we're going to talk about what that's like for 3 days. And that's actually how you learn it, because you're hearing it for real, you're feeling it off somebody. So it's a very feminine feeling process, the activation, the way it works. Okay? Because the other 2 teachers are women, so you're going to have quite 3 different styles, masculine and feminine, plus their own unique styles of teaching. Okay? We do that so that teachers get a break, because it's very intense teaching it, but also so you continue to learn by having a different style, a different voice. Okay? That's the other reason we do that. Okay? So you learn better that way. Okay?
Thank you very much.
All right. And if anyone's interested in the reports, which she's disappeared. Yeah. So anyone listening is interested in the subcontract report, so you go to subcontractreports.com. Let me just check it. Make sure that link actually works. And just mention that. I'm going to finish now anyway. Sorry, running a little bit over time.
Nicholas, in regard to the question that Belinda asked about the course material that we're printing off, I just want to go back and refresh my memory about what you said, because you did say it's very intuitive experience, right brain. But these materials that we're going to be printing off, we'll be referencing them, like as if we're flipping through a file system looking for the data that we need to
Yes, you will.
present the readings.
A lot. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's not like, I mean, it's not the same material that's in the book. Like we couldn't just dog ear our book and flip through that. It's totally different material.
It is the same material. There's a lot more.
Expanded.
The book is a subset of the training manual. You can't do it off the book. So
Okay.
You'll be completely lost.
Yeah.
Okay.
I just don't have access to a printer, and it could be challenging for me, but
suggest you go to a print shop. Okay.
Yeah. No, of course. Yeah.
That's the best way. I will put a link in the YouTube video description for people interested in the reports. Okay. There's a 3-page report based on the book summary, and then there's a 140-page report as well, very in-depth based upon the book. So people interested in that as well. Okay.
Okay.
So yeah, you need to print it off, because we use all the material in depth. Okay. So yeah, a printer is probably the print shop's the easiest way. Or
it's just not easy where I am right now, but that's okay. I'll figure that out.
Or it might be cheaper to actually buy a cheap printer and print it off yourself.
Might be.
Yeah. On Amazon.
I'll look into it. Mm-hmm.
Okay, guys, is that all the questions? Any other ones? You got me here.
Thank you, Belinda, for asking all those great questions that I would have loved to ask and would have thought of 10 minutes after we closed.
Oh, no, thank you. I have to write things down otherwise, but yeah. Thank you, Nicholas. It sounds very interesting, and yeah. Another one of my many things I'd like to do.
There it is. I don't think you'll regret it. I think you'll love the gold mine you're going to discover with this work. So, okay, is that everybody? No more final ones. Trish, you got another question, or you just saying goodbye? Okay, thanks for complete engagement, guys. That was fun.
Thank you.
Hopefully see some of you on the training. Okay.
Thanks, Nicholas.
Bye.
See you in class.